Good day, brothers. I'm Brother Alex Wood, immediate past district director for Canada for Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and with me is Brother Franklin Stacy Jr., Illinois district director and candidate for Midwestern Region Vice President of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. So, Brother Stacy, before we get into some of the points about your campaign, I think brothers would really like to know about Frank Stacy, the brother. Talk to me about those early days at 888 A Chapter in 1987 and sort of what led you to pledge in Alpha.
Well, I've spoken plenty of times about my journey and how I, received a letter from the Western Illinois University on a Friday and was told to show up on a Monday and register, and that's how close I came to not even being a college student. I was able to go to my first party, and unfortunately, it didn't go so well. It turned out to be a fight, and just so happened to be the brothers in a fight. But then the next party I came to, I witnessed Alpha Phi Alpha in its strength on the campus of Western Illinois University, and with that strength, it grabbed my attention. And I was able to join an organization called the Aristocrats, which is a little brother group that, because as you know, you have to have a transcript in order to join the organization. And so it was for first semester freshmen. And I was able to become a member of the family, the Black and Gold family. Of course, I didn't have the letters, but it was great to be a part of, a brotherhood, because they treated us like we were their little brothers. And it was really no question after that. I did not even think of going to another smoker. I didn't even think of even speaking with any other organizations. It was Alpha Phi Alpha or nothing. And so when I got the opportunity to join, I took advantage of it. I was blessed to have 6 other young men go through with me, because I want people to know that I didn't do this by myself. But we were able to make it. I'm a proud jewel anchor, and from there it's just been great. Alpha Phi Alpha has been a blessing to me, and I love this fraternity dearly.
When we think of the mission statement, the first 7 words, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated develops leaders, it becomes very apparent when one reads your resume that you've taken that concept to heart through your Alpha career. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of key roles that you've played in the fraternity in leadership positions. Particularly, let's talk about your position as a regional and now master trainer in the IMDP system. Why has that been so important for you? And certainly any brother knows to just conduct IMDP is a tremendous undertaking. Yes. and requires a lot of time and effort. But to be a master trainer, that's real commitment. So why has that been something that you have embraced and continued to do?
Well, I want to go as far back as 1987, when I first came into this great brotherhood. It was done at the college level. At that time, there wasn't a lot of technology or anything like that. The applications were paper, they were mailed in, and all of that other stuff. And so, we had an incident that happened in the early 90s that unfortunately caused us to have to, change the way we do things. And so, I was able to get involved during the MIP process, which is the membership intake process, and serve as a chief pharaoh. Before that, I served as an assistant, because it was important to me to bring in new brothers. It was important to me to make sure that the trials and tribulations that I went through as a young man, as a young adult, and as an alpha man, that I am the first brother that they encounter, so that I can be able to help them understand that I made mistakes and I'm not perfect, And, I don't want you to make those same mistakes. But, Brother John Williams, once IMDP was voted on, and in 2013 at our general convention in Dallas, once that decision was made and it was solidified, he took a special interest in me, and he came to Peoria, and while I was Illinois executive director, and trained a group of brothers in Illinois to be regional trainers. And so I went from Chief Farrell to Chief Dean, because the names changed, and then took another step and became a regional trainer, which gave me the ability to go out and train other brothers and train chapters and be a part of that development part, and it's been a great experience. And from there, I wanted to be a master trainer, and I even have the desire to one day be a regional coach. And when I say that, I never do anything without consultation. I make sure that it's a blessing to have someone who's one of the architects of IMDP, see something in you. I remember him, pulling me to the side and saying, you should be a master trainer. And I had to stand in front of him, or stand in front of the brothers, and actually do a training in front of him to get his approval. And to receive that approval was great. But that really, I would have been satisfied with just remaining, relevant in the development and and bringing in new brothers into this fraternity, because to see their faces when they first come in, I've experienced, them embrace one another and tears, actual tears, and I just sit there and I smile. When I'm done, when I'm sitting there, and we have stations during the initiation, and the last station, we have a senior brother Walter Graves, who was the charter member and founder of Ada Tau chapter. He brings them from the ritual room, and he brings them to a holding room where I am. And it's funny because he makes this grand announcement. I would like to introduce to you Brother Franklin Stacy Jr. And we'll clap, and I'll be the first one in the room, so I'll clap, and I'm the first one to embrace them, and as brothers, I'm the first one, and then I make sure that, and I sit back, and I just watch them as they come into the room, and as they come into the room, how happy they are, and to know that one day one of these brothers could be an Illinois district director, a regional vice president, a general president. It's just amazing.
You mentioned a moment ago that you would have been satisfied just training and bringing in new brothers and so forth. However, you were called upon to take on another role as Illinois district director. I'd like to explore a little bit about your experience there, and sort of what are some of the lessons learned as district director that you see that you'll take forward if elected regional vice president?
Well, being the Illinois district director has been it's been beautiful. We just finished our conference this weekend, and the love and support that the brothers have given me, I couldn't ask for a better group of brothers. But I still have the desire to serve and advocate. And I believe that those are going to be the two main points that brothers are going to get from me. Those are the two main things that brothers are going to get from me as a regional vice president. I'm going to serve the brothers of the Midwestern region the same way I serve the brothers in the District of Illinois, and I'm going to advocate for them in that boardroom. I'm not going to be a fly on the wall. I'm going to open my mouth and I'm going to speak. And so, to do it at a much grander level, it's just, I'm so excited because I'm ready. I feel as though, the brothers in the great district of Illinois, where we're making noise because we're Illinois, they've mentored me. They have prepared me. They have given me the criticism. They're not yes men. We don't have a bunch of yes men in Illinois. If I'm doing something wrong, they let me know. And I hope that, within the Midwestern region, the brothers are the same way. If Brother Stacy is not doing something correct, please let me know. I have thick skin, but I feel as though I'm ready to lead on day one. And I want to take my experience that I have from serving the largest district in the District of Illinois and take that to the Midwestern regional level.
Brotherhood first is your campaign slogan. But within that, you have a few things that you're targeting as specific areas that you want to see either developed or improved within the region. And let's talk about brotherhood growth. What does that mean, and how do you see your strategy being implemented as regional vice president?
Well, one of the things that I feel is important is making sure that there's a strong alpha presence. And there's strength in numbers. The more chapters we have, the more brothers we have in chapters. Now, by no means am I saying just picking quantity over quality. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is not allowing any good candidate to fall through the cracks and making sure that, we are growing, making sure that there is an alpha presence, in an area, within a state, within a city, so that community can have a group of men that is serving them and looking out for them, making sure that our college chapters are strong. We just have to grow, and I want to make sure that that the Midwestern region has a presence, and I want to make sure that we have a strong presence, and that's very important to me.
Now, I know that college brothers are very near and dear to your heart. You
Yes.
were a college brother at one time, and you've taken great strides and time to engage college brothers, even as district director. And so, this notion of brotherhood bonds, as it were, from your campaign, how will you continue to foster the bonds of brotherhood within the Midwestern region, and maybe specifically develop that concept within the college brothers and that relationship between college and alumni?
Well, my road to becoming the Illinois District Director started with a college brother nominating me on the floor of the last district conference we had in Peoria, Illinois. And, the college brothers saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And if it was the will of those brothers for me to serve, there was no question that I was going to do that. And so I owe them for even I owe them, and I want to make sure that the brothers that elevated me, the young brothers that helped to elevate me, because they are the lifeblood of this fraternity. We're nothing without them. We die. And I want to make sure that they understand that you elevated me for a reason. You elevated me to advocate for you. I want to be able to help them grow their chapters. When you talk about those brotherhood bonds, it's not just with the brothers, it's with the colleges and universities as well as the cities, to help those colleges and universities understand that we need to do more to make sure that, we have a good crop of men coming from our high schools, coming from our middle schools, to come in and, and be a part of this great brotherhood, and then get out there and serve. But we got to make sure that we treat our college brothers as our equals. They're not our little brothers. They're our brothers. And, we need to make sure that our college brothers are not just serving on committees, that our college brothers are leading committees. It's just so important to me to make sure that they have a seat at the table. I hear a lot of questions, from alumni brothers asking about college brothers, because they feel like they're worried about, the college brother being extinct. But the college brothers aren't worried. The college brothers know what they're doing. I challenge any alumni chapter in the Midwestern region. Let me see you run your chapter with 1 or 2 or 3 brothers. The college brothers are doing it and without a sweat. And I think it's just important that we make sure that we give them the respect that they deserve. And when I tell you they have an advocate in Brother Franklin Stacy Jr., I'm going to do everything in my power to advocate for them and make sure that the brothers respect them for who they are.
Brotherhood basics. What are the basics that the Midwestern region specifically needs to get back to? And how will that work under your administration?
Manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind. The aims of our fraternity. All of us saw the light of Alpha at one point. All of us. And all of us had these, these thoughts and these ideas of what we were going to do. But somewhere along the line, life happens. That's how I'm gonna put it. Life happens. And, with life happening, things change. And I think that when we go back to basics and we remember why we joined this organization in the first place, and we remember what we said when we stood in front of the brothers and told them what we were going to offer this fraternity, and this is the reason why you should choose me, and really take that to heart and get back to those basics, and not make sure that the brothers get a return on their investment. We brothers don't get paid to do IMDP. When brothers have to put on that suit on a weekend after wearing a suit all week,
Right.
to come and invest their time away from their families to help you become a brother of this fraternity, we need a return on our investments. And so it's important that we get back to basics and that we remember what it is we said we were going to do when we first came into this fraternity. And, I can seriously say that, for a minute there, I had lost my way. But I thank God that Alpha Phi Alpha, it was invested in me. The Brothers of Eta Eta chapter, they invested in me. They saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I thank God. And they patiently waited. They patiently waited for me and they allowed me to take my own path. And I had some bumps and some bruises, I've had bruises that some other brothers, I wouldn't even wish upon any other brothers. But when we go back to basics and we remember what it is we did in the first place, then that's when things will start getting better.
Now, Neither you nor I are strangers to the importance of our financial well-being, fundraising, investment, et cetera, as it relates to the fraternity. And that's important at every level.
Yes.
But financial resources at the regional level, I know that Illinois has an excellent foundation that you've done a lot of work with in growing and developing. What are some of the key factors that you see the region developing in terms of a healthy budget, bringing in financial resources and really bolstering that aspect? Because as much as we are a brotherhood, there is a business aspect.
Yes.
We have to take care of that. How do you see that playing out as regional vice president?
Well, one of the first things that I did was I made sure that in the District of Illinois, the brothers knew that I was going to bring in the best financial minds in the District of Illinois. I didn't just have a treasurer and a financial secretary. I had a financial team. When I was at district conferences, I would always hear always hear a motion to approve the financial report pending audit. And at the next conference, there was never an audit. We just continued to move on and just say the same thing. Well, I thought to myself, okay, well, shouldn't the brothers have a report where there's an audit or a financial review before the next report to ensure that their money is being spent properly and that the District of Illinois is doing what they're supposed to do with their finances? Because this is their money. It's not my bank account. It's their bank account. And so for the first time in the District of Illinois, that's what we actually did. The brothers got to hear a financial reviewer give a report to explain, how the finances were being spent, and make sure that they knew that the District of Illinois was spending their money properly, and that they wouldn't have any problems with any money being spent incorrectly or mismanaging of any funds. And so that's always been important to me, because I don't like playing with anybody's money. That's something that's very serious. And like you said, that's the business aspect of it. That's the incorporated part, and that's very important to me.
Brotherhood development. As regional vice president, what is your strategy to develop brothers in the Midwestern region?
Our fraternity is ever evolving and ever changing. As soon as we, get trained on one thing, something else comes up. I was a part of this fraternity before technology reared its head. I was able to see the development of AlphaNet in the virtual library. Now we have Alpha MX. And I can tell you that I receive a lot of questions about how do I do this and how do I do that. We're going to have to make sure that we, especially with the Zoom technology that we have now, we're going to have to make sure that we continue to develop and do the trainings that are necessary. And brothers have to receive a return on that investment. Certificates of certification is important. To know that you have something sitting in front of you that proves that you actually sat through something that you can use, you can utilize. It's what I've been doing since I've been involved in IMDP, standing in front of brothers. I appreciate our General President, Dr. Willis L. Lonzo III, when he was regional vice president, for allowing me to serve as the neophyte trainer for IMDP. And I was able to stand in front of over 200 neophyte brothers that just came into the fraternity and be the first person to do their IMDP training. And having the knowledge that I had, being able to talk to them about, what you just went through. Because I'm gonna share something with you. I have a lot of brothers that contact me thinking that they're neophytes are IMDP certified because they went through IMDP. I'm like, no, they just experienced IMDP. Now they need to sit on the other side and actually get trained on what they just went through and explain the method to our madness. This is why we did this. This is why we did this. This is why, all of this is how it is. And so and then even adding more training and development. Just bringing in new thoughts, and you may have a brother that say, I've had brothers that say, hey, I think we should have more entrepreneurs in our fraternity. Hey, let's set something up where brothers who are entrepreneurs can come in and do a Zoom. And hey, if you have a desire to be an entrepreneur, let's sit in this training. Let's show you that what you can do, or whatever. Comes to any brother's minds. Because if you come to me with an idea, I'm going to accept that idea, but I'm also going to expect you to chair it. And I'm going to expect you to find a team. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out of your way, and I'm going to let you lead. And I'm going to let you take the lead, and I'm going to give you all the resources that you need. And I'm going to make sure that you be able to assist the brothers, as needed when it comes to developing them.
As Alpha Brothers, especially if you were made in college, there's a lot of chapter pride and affinity, and that transitions into districts or regional level. I've lived in several regions, and each region has its own pride about where they are and what they bring to the table or whatnot, and their identity, if you will. But you desire to create brotherhood across regional boundaries. Mm-hmm. How do you go about implementing that as Midwestern Regional Vice President?
I have had the pleasure of being able to sit for the past 3+ years on a Zoom meeting with our general organization, led by Brother Terrence Byerson, spearheaded by Brother Denny Johnson. And I've been able to sit and talk and meet with all the district directors in our great fraternity. And I hear great things that are going on in other districts. And I believe that as regional vice president, we need to come together and share some of the great ideas that we have. There may be a region that may be lacking in one area. There may be a region that has a strong point in another area. And so, if there's something great that we're doing in the Midwestern region that could benefit the Southern region, we're one Alpha. We need to make sure that we reach out and assist those brothers. And we need to not think that, because, this is what we do here, that you guys are copying off of. There's no such thing as that. We need to all come together as a region and make sure that we are all strong as one fraternity. That's what's important here. And you mentioned this pride, okay? We have to check ourselves when it comes to this pride. I was that way. This self-proclaimed, Ada Ada is the best chapter in the world. But it wasn't until I got off that island and I met other brothers. It wasn't until I had the opportunity for the first time to leave the country and go to Canada, another country, and meet of Brother Alex Wood and learn that, man, that's a great brother. He's doing some great things. I mean, I can benefit from knowing that brother. I can benefit from knowing his chapter brothers. I can benefit from that. And that's how, that's how we get stronger. That's how we bond. That's how everything that I'm talking about, it just ties into all of that. It just really ties into all of that. And so that's important to me. It's important to me that we all come together and we be just one strong united. And so reaching out and receiving assistance and giving the assistance to the other regional vice presidents is important, and having a great relationship with them.
Every brother matters. How does that play into Franklin Stacy Jr.'s campaign, successful campaign for Midwestern Region Vice President?
Whenever I see a brother, I don't care how far away he is, and he has on that black shirt and I see those gold letters, I mean, my heart just, you cannot imagine the feeling that I receive. And I just beeline straight to that brother, and I make sure that we embrace in some kind of way. And sometimes it's, it's just a short thing and we move on, and sometimes, we exchange numbers. But the fact of the matter is, every brother definitely matters. It has always been important to me. It's the very first thing I say when I go and I talk to other chapters, because in other districts, and it's something that we all have to take seriously. We have a lot of brothers that are not in the fold for whatever reason, but we still allow them to wear the letters, even though they haven't paid any grant taxes, even though they haven't paid any chapter dues, even though they haven't been to any conferences or conventions. And the reason why we do that is because they matter. They are important because they are our brother, and it just goes back to my primary slogan, brotherhood first. That is who I've been since I've came into this fraternity. That is just that is the foundation of everything. Brother, you matter. You matter to me. You matter enough to me that if I see you, I'm going to address you. I'm going to dap you. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to get to know you because you matter. When it comes to filling positions, utilizing those brothers and the talents that they have, to give them the opportunity to serve. Every single brother matters. You're a neophyte. If you see Brother Franklin Stacy Jr. as a neophyte doing something that is an embarrassment to the fraternity, because you matter and you are important to me, please say something to me. Let me know. You're just as important as I am. I'm your equal. And I just want brothers to know that is just something that's I take so seriously. I want to make sure that when it comes to re-engaging our brothers and bringing them back into the fold, that we don't just say we're going to re-engage our brothers. We actually get out there and re-engage our brothers and continue to re-engage and continue to re-engage and continue to re-engage. We have Zoom now. There's no reason for us to do something on a monthly basis where it's just brothers that are not in the fold, and they have an opportunity to talk to the regional vice president of the region that they're in, and hear why I feel it's important to bring you back, and keep letting them know, and keep working on them, and then finding out really what it is. Really finding out what it is and hearing your story, because it's not always about finances. That's very important to me. All of my brothers and Alpha Phi Alpha has always mattered to me, and that's where it begins, bro.
Brother Franklin Stacy Jr., candidate for Midwestern Regional Vice President of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. My brother, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me and share your thoughts with me about your candidacy. Brothers, you can follow Brother Stacy's campaign on Instagram, and as well be looking out for Brotherhood First, the podcast that will be coming out on YouTube soon. And with that, my brother, the best of luck to you and continued success.
God bless you. And God bless you, brothers.